little. I don't want to say it's a stream. I mean, I am streaming it just so that like if anybody stops by, they can add some comments. But I just wanted to go over the patch notes real fast. I don't know why I'm looking over there. The camera's up there. For what I will be titling the Bernice update. Okay. So Aesop here with your weekly dose of patch notes. This is a big update with a couple of cool new things we're bringing you, and it would be in your best interest to read every single word. Now, I'm not going to read every single word out loud. I'm going to like skim over some things. But we'll like jump into things. I'll share my opinions on it. I feel like this is a good way not only for like me to have just more stuff to talk about, but I can also get a better understanding of the game as a whole and maybe learn from things that I like misinterpret or just don't understand. So here we go. So we got Bernice, right? I've already I've already seen his kit because I like look into like everything they release, and this guy is this like mashup of. I'm gonna use League of Legends references for like every character I talk about. So he's got like Caitlyn Q, he's got Caitlyn W, he's got Graves auto attacks, he's got Quinn E, and then he's got Brand Ultimate. So what's really cool about some of these, so Q, pretty straightforward, fires a projectile and then it slows them. And then if they're in his trap or they're rooted by like a teammate or something, if you're playing squads or duos, does bonus damage. Really straightforward, really simple, kind of cool. See how that works. Oh, I guess I skipped over his passive. So his passive is the Graves passive of like he shoots more bullets, and then if he hits you with more bullets, he does more damage, and then his reload time is faster as the game progresses. So it's in your best interest to level the passive. Like one of the only characters that I don't think it's in your best interest to do the passive on is Jackie, and that's because it's kind of useless where you just like kill stuff and you do more damage for the next like 15 seconds or 30 seconds. It's a while, but it's not worth it. So back to the Q, right? Probably max the Q first. I don't really see a reason you'd max the other abilities first other than your ultimate and passive, because it will do more damage, reduce the cooldown, things like that. W's pretty straightforward as well. You put down a little trap, and when they run into it, it roots them. This is going to be, I think this is going to be something that they nerf early on, like next patch. Not because like I know how strong it is, but because they already have a character who does traps. They have Nadine, right? And when you're in that like top 3 situation with Nadine, like she'll have like 7 traps out, right? And so they had to nerf that already because it's way too strong. I think this is going to be a little strong, but we'll see. Maybe it's really weak and I'm just overestimating it, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure this is going to be massive because you'll be like, here is zone, and then there's traps everywhere and you just can't do anything. E is the Quinn passive I was talking about, but what's even cooler about this, and I think this will make him really aggressive early on, obviously, is that it marks them and he moves faster to them. So, you know, you're going to be hunting people down. So your trap placement's probably really crucial. And if you're just walking around, you should probably avoid these. Ultimate, I wish they put his clips on here. On Twitter, they have clips of his abilities. Let me find that Twitter post real fast, just so that I can actually show the abilities alongside talking about them. Because they're pretty cool too. I think they're really cool. Scroll down. I'm really looking forward to him. I probably won't play him like a ton, whereas I play Kathy a ton. He's gonna be really cool. He'll be really fun to play, but I don't know if he'll be like one of my characters to play. Okay, so we have their Twitter pulled up. Where are you? Here it is. So here he is, edgy, badass looking dude. I think he looks fucking cool. I'm guessing his shotgun is considered a sniper rifle, maybe? Or maybe his weapon skill is the sniper rifle weapon skill. I'm not really sure. But we'll see. So here's his passive, right? It's dealing more damage to Magnus because he's hitting him with 2 shells instead of just 1. I'm guessing that means that it's because Magnus is a little thicker than Fiora. I don't know, and it's hitting her with more bullets. Here's the Q in action. I think that's the slow, like the slow animation. Here's the W in action. That right there was the mark for his E. The traps are pretty easy to see. I wish they would have shown if they're visible in bushes, to where if there's fog of war and I can't see it in the, like, I can't see vision of the bush, do I see the trap? It's an interesting thing to think about. But there it is, pretty simple, but it's also pretty big. Like that's gonna take up some space. That's gonna really like narrow down how you play in the end game. Here's his E. Also grants vision, I realize, for his active part. So here we go. Marks, look at how fast he goes. He's going to be hunting you down. And then here's the cool one. I realize for his ultimate. So when we first saw this, I was like, man, that's bouncing really fast. This is actually at 2 times speed. So if you're playing like duos or squads, it should give you plenty of time to get out of the way in between it proccing. So far, he's looking way more balanced than Luke, way more balanced than Kathy and Adela, like just aesthetically, because his kit's pretty straightforward. Everything's pretty easy to dodge. Like, he has to take a knee up here before he can shoot you with his Q. Like, so I don't think we'll have too many problems. Looks fun. I hope people enjoy him. We have the new Hyunwoo skin. I should have showed that too. Let me pull that back up. I have it somewhere else. But it looks cool. You know, I'm not really a Hyunwoo guy. Like, he's really awesome. I think Hyunwoo is badass. Scroll down to it. It's right here. It's a, oh, we can just watch the YouTube preview. It's a badass skin, dude. Apparently this is HD. I'll obviously probably end up getting it. We'll see. I'll probably hold off, just like I did with Jackie's. But he looks cool. It doesn't make you stronger, literally. But in my personal opinion, you know, skins always make the man. I wonder if they'll ever add like crafter skins. But yeah, there's the skin. It looks awesome. Looking forward to it. So you may have noticed in that video they highlighted another patch note is the meteorite impact. Now let me tell you, There's only one part about this meteorite impact that I needed to see, and that's that the falling meteorite does damage. Okay? Now, I don't know who decided that this needed to be a thing, but I'm about it. I don't know how I'm going to try and rope someone into dying to one of those, but I'm going to figure it out someday. I'm going to kill someone with the meteorite. So other than that, I mean, it's just 3 meteorites, just like Tree of Life. You know where it's going to be. What I do like about the meteorite more than Tree of Life is that it's in random areas. Now there's only 5 random areas that it can spawn in, but it'll be random in set zones in that area. So it'll add some, variety. It won't be one of those like you can stand right there every single time and it'll be there. That's one of the problems I have with Tree of Life. Less clutter, more info. I love anything that is quality of life. They seem to really take in our opinions quickly and make changes as fast as they can. I don't 100% understand this. I'm assuming it's just like another version of the quick cast. So like for me, I just use the bam quick cast, boom quick cast. I think this will probably be one of those like for people who like quick cast but they want to like see the range like sometimes. I don't know. I'll have to ask. I think Lucas might use the quick cast indicator, or Chris maybe. Loot improvements. Anytime they add more loot to balance out these spawns, that's great. I don't know how influential a lot of these will be. I think they go over this later, so we'll talk more about this later. This is huge. I'm in love with anything that makes saved plans more convenient for new players. So what they're adding here is you can save the skill order, which will be really useful. Like I have trouble with Heart, right? Heart has not only items that you want to like plan for, but upgrading your abilities that you have to plan for. And I hope this makes it easier to try out new characters and new builds. I didn't know that this was in their patch notes. When I read it this morning, I was really tired. But this will be huge. Receive an alert when a creator makes any changes. I look forward to this because I guess this means it'll be easier to keep up with any changes. And let's say like you were having a problem and you were like, man, going through hospital kind of sucks, and they like the creator themselves already thought about it, you'll get that change notification. I haven't really paid attention to the score filters. Let's be honest, like it's hard to judge what's a good plan and what's an okay plan. To differentiate the existing modes, you can now select only one button for solo, duo, or squad. I'd have to see this one. I wish they put pictures up of some of these. Improvements. I'm pretty sure I've highlighted this before on stream. I think what this is going to do, there's going to be, let me pull it up. So it's on their roadmap already. Okay, so this is what they're doing. I love this. It's going to be when you win or lose, they've got a whole new screen for it. So this is going to be sick. This will be great for like content creators trying to make thumbnails. Let me pull the lost screen up here. And so this is the lost screen. Start it over. Oh no, I lost. I'm assuming this means Aya killed us or something. Unfortunately, I can't translate this live, but this is what it'll look like. I think it looks better, it looks cleaner, a little less outdated. Woo, we won. Boom, it's me and the boys, you know? That's gonna be awesome. I've highlighted that before. I didn't think they'd come out with it this early. Wickling adjustments. This is great, I guess, that she has more HP and it takes longer to kill her. She really should feel more like a raid boss that takes effort. My only problem is they still haven't updated when she spawns in. Okay, she like stands there for like 4 seconds before she moves somewhere else, and she always spawns on the side of a avenue. So it's whatever. Maybe they'll get to that eventually, but this is good. Taking longer to do. So here's where I think this is a learning experience for me, is going over some of these characters. I haven't seen as much Rozzy these days as I did like when the game first came out, or when she first came out. So I hope this adds more Rozzys to the game. Rozzy is just fun to see, because when she does shut you down, she does it with finesse, and you kind of deserve to lose. I'm always afraid of Lead Eye Lens, so I'm glad she's getting nerfed a little bit. That's just me. I love this. I like to see Magnus storming in, not running away, because when you think of Magnus, you think of Giga Chad Magnus. You don't think of Pansy Magnus who rides away. Let's see. Buffing Zukai, I think is what this is. Yeah, damage dealt. Yeah, I could see it. Zukai has his moments where he's like really strong and you're just getting shut down by him. But that's usually because like his whole team was ahead, not because he himself carried his team. I agree with this as well. I see a lot of Shoichis just die. And I think it's mainly because of Luke being in the game, honestly. I don't think it's because of himself. I think it's because of Luke. Anything that buffs Sissela, give it to me. Love Sissela. She's my favorite. Trying to think if I ever had moments where I was like, that was too stiff. I don't think so, but hopefully this makes it more fun. I think Sylvia is probably a hard character to balance because she has 2 sets of abilities. So I think they're buffing her, right? Oh no, they're nerfing her. Airborne duration. Oh, this is a buff. And then, oh, these are all buffs, right? Yeah, okay. Oh, but they're changing. Okay, so they're buffing everything, but making it to where the transition between human and bike mode is longer in the early game. Okay, I could see it. Helping Adriana in the early game. I like it. I think Adela is in an interesting place. Let's see how they change this. Increase damage. Making attack speed end at a higher spot, but start at a lower spot. Nerfing the passive. Yes, okay. Yeah, I didn't like the E too much. The E is a little too strong. I think everything else was about where it needed to be, but that E was way too much. She was getting away all the time. You could not catch an Adela unless you just had the mobility of a god. Anything that buffs Aya, give it to me. I like using Sniper Aya. I think this will be interesting. I think you'll see a little bit more Polaris. So be prepared to get early game griefed by Polaris builds. This will make the assault rifle Aya better. I don't know what this does really in the long run for her. Quality of life like this is important because he shouldn't be wasting passive on junk like that. I think his E is ridiculous, so I'm glad that's getting hit, even if it is just by a second. Reducing throw damage. Okay. So what this did, right? And I like this a lot, or I'm interested in this the most. This made it to where the initial hit, so like when you call down his ultimate, it does less damage, But if you manage to like put them in a position where they get hit with it a few times, that's where it really shines. And I think that's what we're talking about. I think it's awesome. Please always buff Kathy. Love Kathy. There's a part right here. Struggles at higher tiers where people tend to avoid this and pick fights. Yeah, unfortunately, better players do not die to my Kathy as much as I want them to. Which it's fine. You're supposed to know like where people are gonna be, and they know I'm gonna be in cemetery hunting for them. That's fair. Yeah, Kiara's nuts, isn't she? Like, everyone feels that way. This is true. This is her ultimate. It cost SP to use. It's like using Mana Mune or Muramana from League of Legends, like the previous season before they made it just a passive that exists. I don't like Heart. I think Heart's way too strong. I think Heart's way too strong because of her dash, not because of anything else. I think the rest of her kit's really cool. I'm sure they're buffing him for his skin so that people are like, yeah, play Hyunwoo. I agree. Play Hyunwoo. He's awesome. Buffing Hedgen's early game. Sure. Buff the 1-inch punch lifesteal. Sure. It's a badass weapon. I haven't really used too much of these other ones. Nerfing a guitar. I'm going to look into this scalpel. Or the Damascus steel. What makes this interesting is that it adds a dagger that does the healing reduction. And these are how you build into it, I think, right? Swiss Army knife. Yeah, and spike plane. It's interesting. I probably won't use it too much. I like attack speed on Kathy. Bursting someone down as Kathy doesn't really work because their cooldowns are so long. This is gonna suck because I think in the early game, this is gonna be one of those pay attention to what you're crafting, and if you're doing like an axe build, try and make sure you hold off on crafting these in particular, so you're not like losing loot speed, you know. I don't use a lot of rapiers unless I'm playing Kiara or Fiora, so I don't have too strong of an opinion on these. But actually, with these two, I think these are nerfs to Kiara. I definitely don't use hammers, so I don't have a strong opinion on those. Dual swords. I have no idea. I obviously need to have a more diverse field of weapon usage, so that I can get a better understanding and have a better opinion on these. I haven't used Tonfas once, and the reason why I haven't used Tonfas is because, man, I like using the 1-inch punch on Hyunwoo. I think that's what it's all about. I don't really know how I feel about recharge time. Throwables are weird because like I never feel like I'm running out of ammo on them except for like Petal Torrent, because it only has 3 hits, and the having to wait, I think it's like, it feels like 90 seconds for recharge time. Just feels like forever. Some armor stuff. I think cube watches do strong for a blue item. Yeah, I don't see a lot of Emerald Tablet. Double guillotines are insane. I don't craft a lot of traps, but if I did, I would probably do guillotines rather than like C4 and stuff. Because I think they stun and do damage is what they do. Okay, so here's what I was talking about earlier. They go over like where they put boxes. So when you're on Alley, I'm trying to think of where Alley is. Alley is top right of the map. This big box that they're adding, I think, is going to be like not necessarily in the middle of the street, but like on the sidewalk. So in the bottom left of alley, there's this gas station. There's a bear that spawns in it, and then some chickens in front. That's probably about where it's going to be. For the archery range. Oh, and they're also increasing like the quantities of items, which is pretty important. There's going to be a very key set of text that they add at the bottom in their miscellaneous section that I'll go over. That's going to make this a bit more interesting. So big box next to the spawn at the top of archery range. So I don't know if this is the top left of archery range or the top right, but they'll be adding a box up there. In temple, below the main gate. So in the middle section that connects to avenue and pond, I think that's where they're adding it, somewhere in there. Hotel. This one's at the left of the entrance of the swimming pool. So in the top left of hotel, there are two sets of there's a set of wolves. I think it's going to be about up there. For the hospital one, this one's I want to go out of my way for this one in particular because this is on the right side, and I'm assuming it's in between the two cars that are on the right side. So this will make the right side a lot more interesting. So if you do like a factory spawn and you do second area hotel, you can just hug that right wall rather than forcing yourself to actually go through the left side of the hospital. For school, I think the gym is insane as it is. I think they need more loot boxes out in the middle where the buses are. But this is at the top left of the gym. Pretty self-explanatory. And another box in the hallway. They added, okay, so they did add another gemstone. Temple's been huge here lately, so I think it needed a buff. Spawn point adjustments. I don't know where all the spawns are normally, so these are just kind of take them as you will. Here is the key update for looting that I think everyone needs to hear about. You can no longer open boxes over walls. So this will probably slow down players, hopefully, who have been just breezing through looting, because like they'll go to like Uptown, right? And in Uptown, if you're in the house, there's like 2 extra boxes. Like you can loot the car from the stairs, you can loot the car through the window. It's insane. And then they went back on this change. Thank God they went back on this change of boxes having duplicate items. Because what's happening when you have duplicate items, there's these opportunities where like 1/2 of the zone of looting will have all of one thing, because like 4 of them will spawn in a box. I found 4 papers in a box in archery range once, and I was like, this is not balanced. I hope this helps colorblind players or players who have difficulty seeing their abilities. Yeah, there it is. Adela's pieces. That was one of the biggest ones that I heard about when I would go on Reddit. So I have no idea what this means. Unless what this is saying is that when the dog bites you, instead of bleeding immensely, you just take healing reduction. In which case, that's an interesting one. I'm interested to see how that'll be. I don't know what that means. Maybe that'll just show like the difference between the two. So like when you look into a box, if you have like, I know potatoes don't spawn in box, but I just really want to think about potatoes. If you have a potato and then you have like carbonated beverage, it'll show that one is HP, one is SP. Maybe that's what it is. Don't really know what that means. Big box. Thank God. I've been having this weird, I don't know if everyone else has been, or a few people have been having this problem of when you click on a box, your character will like walk up to it, but not open it. I have no idea why. Yeah. Oh, well, this is when using a skill. I just have the problem normally. We have reduced the frequency of wild dogs barking. Yeah, those dogs bark a lot. Hyperloop, ammo, just a lot of quality of life stuff that I like. Nice. Pond bears have eaten the leaves off of the trees. And then just more just quality of life stuff that I have no doubts are probably really important. Looking to see if I had seen any of these in particular. Not really. And then some lobby improvements. Painted the selection map. Cool. Why you're reporting players. I think this is important. This will help with issuing out bans for cheaters or just like inappropriate behavior. Cool. I think it's all really good. I'm always looking forward to patch notes. I'll probably try and do these for just whenever I can for these patch notes. And then I'll try and upload them same day if I can. That way, if you didn't catch the stream, you can catch them later. Those kinds of things. So this is the Bernice update. Looking forward to it. He's gonna be a cool dude. I hope he's played by a lot of people and ends up being a critical player on teams, because he seems like a team player of locking down people for his team, forcing teams to spread out. I think that's something that a lot of people have trouble with. I have a I meant to clip it, but I think I have it ready as a video of us getting like trapped in alley and just getting devastated by a team of AoE users. So it'll be a lot of fun. I'll be streaming later and pretty much every day that I can. So see you guys later. Have fun.